Good day, everybody. This is Yin Yang coming into the screen from California. This is Morsels of a Thought number 1549. I am here to read to you today words of wisdom. It is Sunday, and I do a series on Sunday, and ordinarily I do a stories Sunday. Today, I am going into a business minded book. Yin Yang, go get it. Want to get that way. And this one says, Yin Yang to your success. Lady Jen, okay to read for morsels of a thought. And we are here to read again. My goal is to give you a happy day, inspire you to have a great day with virtue, something to do that you know is good. Anyway, so I am on page 17 in Know the Numbers of Section 2, Goals, Plans, and Systems. Know the numbers. I'll start with the quote at the beginning. Success starts with a clear vision. The Big Idea by Fabian Fredrickson. Identify the passion that powers your practice so you can set a clear vision for achieving your goals. Fan the flame from within. Okay, actually, that was Jen saying that. And then the quote begins here by Fabian Fredrickson. Fan the flame from within, from divine contract, not anger, not resentment. You know how people say, like anyway, so there are lots of reasons to fan the flame from within. And this is my new business card. It's a little fuzzy. I'm going to get it rechanged, I think, possibly. But I like it. Is the goal of 2 more closings a month really the goal where you should start? She's a mortgage lender. Perhaps the basic goal you need to meet first is to cultivate 4 new referral partners a month for the next 6 months. After achieving that goal, then you can realistically aim higher, perhaps much higher, in the number of your monthly closings. If your goal is to add 4 new referral partners a month for the next 6 months, then you'll need a process to use every day to work toward that goal. I know exactly what she's saying here. In other words, you really need to sit down and possibly write or plan, in any case, the referral partners, do not forget whom you're talking to, follow through. When your call ends with, okay, we'll talk about that very soon, then make sure you do talk about that very soon. Jot it down so you remember on a calendar. And if you don't use a wall calendar, then use your electronic calendars if you must. Now she says, identify the activities you'll dedicate specifically to finding these partners, working with them, talking to them, networking with them, and constantly following up with them. Work on the process of cultivating new partners each day, and this will lead to more referrals, which will lead to more closings per month. Prioritize your goals. You can't tackle everything at once. If you bite off too much at once, you'll spin your wheels. To get momentum going, start with one or maybe just a couple of goals. Work on your process and plan to achieve that first goal. When you're moving forward smoothly and effortlessly, that's the time to think about incorporating another goal. That's interesting. It's like, make sure you're already coasting before you try to pick up anything. Roller skates. I don't write. Measure. The last crucial step is to track your progress. You will need to set up a system to ensure you are following your plan, such as my AP's spreadsheet. This is such a necessary tool. I can't believe nobody wants it. Anyway, there. Lady Jen says the last crucial step is to track your progress. You will need to set up a system to ensure you are following your plan. That's what to say. Because how else will you know how much you've progressed since the start? These are like beautiful words right here. These are so much a plan for being able to speak with your manager about why you need to write things down. Some managers don't like people to write things down. Lady Jen says, in the example I gave above, your aim is to cultivate 4 referral partners a month. Let's say you find that you actually need 10 potential partners a month in order to cultivate these 4 partners whom you can do business with whom you can do business. Track your success every month to ensure you're meeting 10 potential partners and converting 4 of them to working partners. See, the goal that looks small actually takes a lot of background work. Um, Let me pause right here to say that. I once thought that I could get people together for a picnic that had a certain theme, and it was a group of people that are from another culture. And the culture I am familiar with is similar to their culture, but not exactly the same. So here I was angrily trying to persuade people to do my thing. I was angry only because, well, very much because um, people weren't listening to me. They didn't believe what I was saying. Finally, one man comes up to me. He's the coordinator of this particular small group. It's not a big group, it's a small group. It's a small group within a big group. Anyway, so he comes up to me and he says, you need to bring up things to these people gradually and gradually persuade them to your line of thought. And I said to myself, I didn't answer him, but I said to myself immediately, I said, that'll take 2 years. And then it did indeed take 2 years. It was really a lot longer than one thought. One would say, oh, we have to do this campaign for such and such and promote such and such children needing food in the world, such as that. Golden Harvest or whoever, I don't know those names of organizations that do those things. And I wanted to do that. But I needed first to persuade people that there were even hungry children in the world. You see, little bits of it at a time. Then I had to persuade them that we wanted to feed them. Then I had to persuade them that they could indeed have the ability to feed them. And then I had to persuade them to open their pockets a little bit, some of them. So that's what I was wanting to say. Okay, Lady Jen says here, you have to measure and adjust your performance to stay on track. If you don't keep checking, you'll drift off course. Think of an airliner flying cross country for 4 or 5 hours. If it drifts off course by a degree or so every hour, it's going to be way off course at the end. The pilots and the computers check and adjust the plane's course constantly to keep it from drifting. And that's what you need to do to make sure you're working your plan to meet your goals. That's part of the thing you're writing down. Look at how you are spending your time now. Maybe even record what you do every day for a week so you have a better picture of exactly what you're doing and for how long. If you discover your week on lead generation activities, look at where you can increase that time each day. It's also just as important to look at the activities that you can delegate to free up business building time or time wasting activities you can eliminate. Next section is consistency is key. After 34 years in this business, I still set and work toward daily, weekly, monthly, annual, and even longer term goals. I have a plan every year that includes goals to stretch for. It doesn't matter whether you're a rookie or a long term veteran, you still need goals to drive you toward your vision. It all comes down to repeating the process month after month and year after year. Bullet points, 7 bullet points. Find your passion. Set a goal. Make a plan to achieve that goal. Get to work on the plan. Stick to it. Follow the process. Measure it. Reach the goal. And I want to pause to mention Sun Tzu, who is a 10,000, 2,000-year-old author of, well, he's gone, long gone. But 2,000 years ago, he wrote The Art of War, which is used in business schools. And what he says is there are 5 ways to win a battle. Measure the location, assess your strengths, calculate how many people you have on each end and they have, compare the numbers of people the numbers of warriors, and conquer. So measure, assess, calculate, compare, and conquer. I'm just going to add that in here. We're in the book, Launch, How to Take Your Business to New Heights by Jen Du Plessis, America's Mortgage Mentor. Forward by Michael J. Mayer, The 7 Levels of Communication. And so at the Secret Knock where I went last week, they made fun of the 7 steps just because there were some ways to put your mindset first before you do your 7 steps. First, you need to have your heart in the right place. Then you need to have your voice, your power. You need, there were lots of things they taught us, and they're all in my subconscious at the moment. Jen's Jots. Back to Jen's Jots. Jen's Jots. 3 points. Set a vision and goals for what you want to accomplish in your life first. Revisit your vision and modify your goals every year. Meeting your goals is all about working through a process every day and taking baby steps forward rather than focusing on an end point. Very much so. Prioritize your goals and track your progress. Those were Jen's Jots. Now, she's absolutely right. When it comes to uh, when it comes to taking baby steps forward, focus on the baby steps rather than focusing on an endpoint, because you're jumping over a chasm if you are trying to focus on the endpoint. The endpoint is over this place where you're doing something to the smidgen. You're doing a baby step, and that's the edge of the precipice where you're not doing those steps today. The precipice begins the chasm, and then at the end of the chasm is your goal. So if you focused on the goal, you'd fall into the chasm because you're focusing on the things you're not going to be doing today. Today, you're doing the baby step, just the baby step. So meeting your goals, that's the second bullet point. I'm going to read all the bullet points again. Jen's Jot says, set a vision and goals for what you want to accomplish in your life first. Revisit your vision and modify your goals every year. Okay. Next was meeting your goals is all about working through a process every day and taking baby steps forward rather than focusing on an end point. Next one was prioritize your goals and track your progress. All right. Chapter 2, Section 2. Okay, let's see. Chapter 2, Section 2 has another quote in it. And the big idea here, Jen says, is implement your vision and goals with a business plan that drives how you will grow your practice. The big idea is implement your vision and goals with a business plan that drives how you will grow your practice. And the quote is by Bill Copeland, who says, the trouble the trouble with not having a goal is that you can spend your life running up and down the field and never score. Oh, let's not focus on that possibility. Okay, says Lady Jen. So you have your vision and your goals. Now, what? The number one issue I hear when coaching or speaking is that the difficulty that people have in following a business plan. They either don't have a solid enough plan or they have a plan, but it still sits on a shelf neatly tucked away in the credenza. I find this frustrating because it can be easily fixed. Let's talk about how you get past the hurdle of waking up in the morning and knowing exactly what to do. Morsels of a thought will help you. You have to get past the point of just hoping that someone calls you with a referral or going into the office and doing activities that don't generate leads or move the needle in your practice. What you need is a blueprint for your practice, and it's a big deal, BIGDEAL. Just like you need a blueprint for using your time efficiently every day, you need a plan for how you'll generate business, how you'll ramp up your income, and how you'll meet your goals. Let me give you an example. If you set out to build a house, would you start by getting a couple of truckloads of material at the home improvement warehouse, unloading the trucks, and just start building? Gosh, I don't think so. First, you'd figure out your design and how to construct the basic bones of the house. And then you'd figure out your design for the interior and exterior and how the finished house will look. After you completed your plans, then you'd get the materials you needed to start building. Your business plan is based on the same principle. Before we talk about the semantics of the plan itself, let's do a reality check, okay? People want to work with others they know, like, and trust. I'm sure you've already heard of this. Perhaps you've experienced it. I'd like to help you with this notion while you're creating your business plan. You see, we want to be the people who connect the dots for others, whether in business or working directly with clients. And we must make these connections explicitly. So sit back and look at your plan from the perspective of where do we want our business to come from? And what are the ways we will generate our business? For example, if you want your business to come from realtors, what are some meaningful ways you can be in a realtor's world, ways that mean something for you as well as for them? Be honest with yourself. Do you have the courage, the willingness, and the self-confidence to draw the links to the people we want to attract? A plan is your personal guide on how you will increase leads and referrals, how you will develop and nurture profitable strategic relationships, and how your processes will lead to helping more families get a home. Everything else you do in your practice, every system and tool you use, is there to support these goals. A business plan is like a seed. You can't just plant a seed and walk away, hoping at the end of the season that a huge, bountiful plant filled with fruit will be waiting for you. It needs your attention daily for water, sun, fertilizer, pruning, and care. It's the same for an effective business plan. I cannot count how many times I've seen people in this business put plans together and then put them on the shelf. That won't work. You've got to track how well you're meeting your plan during your weekly blueprint time, your planning and review time. That way, you hold yourself accountable for the actions you say you want to take to meet the goals you set for yourself. Someday is today. So when you say, I'm going to do that someday, Actually, it's today. This is someday. When you begin implementing your plan, the first thing you want to focus on is to only do things that you are absolutely excellent at. If you aren't good on the phone because that makes you uncomfortable, hire a dialer or a person who likes being on the phone. If you're better doing things in person, then do as many things as you can in person, such as networking, speaking to groups, or having small workshops or book clubs. If you're better at being on the phone and won't like going to networking events, then hire someone to be your business development officer to go to those events for you and speak on your behalf. So the next section is called Know What You Want to Accomplish with Every Call and Meeting. Hold on a second while I blow my nose. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, sorry. Know what you want to accomplish with every call and meeting. Something a colleague recently shared with itchiness, itchiness. Ay, ay, ay. Sorry. Anyway, something a colleague recently shared with me is a reminder that we don't want to work with 100 pennies or even 20 nickels. Perhaps our focus should be on working with 10 great dimes and 4 unbelievable quarters. Knowing what you want is to accomplish begins with knowing who you want to accomplish your goals with. It also doesn't mean just keeping an overhead view and tallying your balance sheet at the end of every month. It's quite a unique combination of thoughtful planning while remaining a visionary. Working your plan is a week by week, day by day, hour by hour endeavor. Start with segmenting your time every day, also known as time blocking. Now, hang on. Don't close this book. Stay with me. Time blocking can provide focus on the activities you want and need to accomplish during each time compressed segment. I'll discuss the enormous value of time blocking and time compression in the next section. So we'll go to that next week on Sunday with Launch by Jen Duplessis, Lady Jen. Yin Yang, go get it. That's right. It says go get it, and you go get it too. So get the book and read this. This is very, very, very motivational. This is how thick it is, and we're in the middle of it. We're not in the middle of it. We're just at the very fourth of it, maybe. So I shall see you later tomorrow. I will be here with Henning Morales' book, The Dirt Merchants. Okay. Old Kinderhack.